Hey y'all, this is Jillian from Maxine Makes Magic. Welcome back to my channel. We are back for another Disney Dining Ranking Challenge, and we're headed over to Disney's Coronado Springs Resort to check out Three Bridges Bar and Grill to see if it's a good fit for you and your travel party based on my 5-step ranking challenge. Let's get into it. If you are new here, welcome. This ranking challenge has been devised with 5 key criteria to help determine if these Disney dining locations are a good fit for you and your travel party. No one likes going to any of the Disney resorts and spending money on terrible food, beverages, just an overall bad dining experience. And not all Disney dining locations can be ranked the same. So we are going to use my 5 key criteria today to determine if Disney's Coronado Springs Three Bridges Bar and Grill is a good fit for you. Those 5 key criteria are easy to access, location theming, beverage and bite variety, cost, and beverage and bite theming. Before we dive into that, let's go ahead and look at the history of this dining location. As always, I have my handy iPad because I did a little bit of research before we jumped into the conversation today. So let's go into a little bit more about this relatively newer dining location at the resort. Three Bridges Bar and Grill opened back in June 2019 as a part of a larger expansion to Disney's Coronado Springs Resort with the introduction of the Grand Casino Tower. Disney's kind of going through a renaissance right now where these types of towers are being added to their deluxe and moderate hotels. We've seen one now with Coronado Springs, the Grand Casino, with Bay Lake Tower at the Contemporary, and even the Island Tower at the Polynesian Village Resort. It's a great way for Disney to add more rooms without taking up too much real estate on property because they can build vertically. Now, Three Bridges Bar and Grill sits on Lago Dorado, which is a giant lake in the center of Coronado Springs Resort. It's a beautiful open air setting with Spanish, Mexican, and Southwest inspired touches that complement the remainder of the resort property. The menu itself is Spanish American cuisine, which again plays into the rest of the resort's theme. This is a great location for a low-key date night. It is a beautiful setting when the sun sets. You've got the beautiful Grand Casino Tower just kind of glowing in the background. You've got some fireworks from neighboring parks like Epcot and Hollywood Studios. It's just a beautiful atmosphere overall. But let's go ahead and start with our ranking challenge, starting with category 1, easy to access. So our first key criteria is easy to access. Is this dining location easy to find on the Walt Disney World Resort property? Are the reservations available, and is it friendly for kids and adults alike? Now, this dining location sits pretty centrally within the resort property. The hotel itself sits in the Animal Kingdom hotel area, but oddly enough, you've got Epcot and Hollywood Studios also relatively nearby. The only area where you would struggle is if you're somebody who's staying up near the Magic Kingdom resort property, because that's pretty decently far away from where this dining location is positioned across the Walt Disney World Resort. So something to keep in mind there. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you are wanting to dine at this location, you're going to have to park at Disney Springs and take a bus over. You are not going to be able to drive and park at the hotel because there are no reservations for this dining location. Typically with Disney hotels, if you're not a guest at the hotel, you need to have a dining reservation in order to park, just to make sure there's enough parking for guests. So that being said, you're gonna have to pop over to Disney Springs if you're gonna wanna go to this resort and you're not staying there. It opens every day from 4:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. And with no reservations available, there's also not a walk-up waitlist that you can join through the Disney My Experience app. So you are gonna have to join a waitlist when you arrive like you would at any normal dining location. Last but not least, it is friendly for kids and adults alike. However, with this resort, it is generally geared towards adults and convention goers. There is a huge convention room at this resort property. So a lot of the clientele you're going to see at Three Bridges in the evening is either going to be couples having a low-key date night, or you're going to notice there's a lot of folks who are post-conventioners, maybe enjoying a drink lounging around, all that kind of good stuff. It's not to say this dining location is not kid-friendly. It is absolutely kid-friendly. I will tell you that firsthand experience from going there back in October of last year. My husband and I were definitely there for a low-key date night. However, there were children and they were enjoying their meal, having no problems whatsoever. All Disney resorts at some degree are going to be friendly to children. Overall, I am going to fail this a little bit of criteria. Main reason being there aren't reservations. There's no like monorail or Skyliner or really easy transportation option other than the buses at Disney Springs, which it's free to park at Disney Springs, but it's kind of another step you have to take in order to get all the way over to Coronado Springs. And even though it's central to the property itself, it's just not necessarily something that is quick and easy to get to. There's multiple steps and it's friendly for children, but it's not like a prime location you're gonna probably take your kids to. So with that being said, I am going to fail, easy to access, and we are gonna pop on over to location theming for criteria number 2. For location theming, is it a standout location outside of food and beverages? Does it have a good atmosphere? And is it picture backdrop worthy? I absolutely adore the setting of this dining location. It is extremely relaxing, and the thought of Disney and relaxing doesn't typically go hand in hand. This is a hidden gem in my opinion on the property that's not talked about enough. If you're going past sunset, you got the Grand Casino Tower that is like lit up and glowing and glimmering looking over the lake. If you're sitting at the dining location, no matter where you look, because it's open air, there's always something to look at. There are footpaths that you take, the footpath bridges, to actually get to the dining location so you can people watch. And if you're like me, I love people watching. So it's really, really fun just to kind of sit and enjoy your meal and have multitude of things to look at when you're enjoying the dining location. Again, it's got Spanish, Mexican, Southwest inspired theming within the lighting that they use and the lanterns, the table designs, the decor. It is absolutely stunning. The seating is covered, so you never have to worry about being directly rained on. However, if it's a humid day, if you've got slanted rain, the sides are all open. So that's something you do need to be cognizant of if the weather's not looking great and you're gonna be seated near the edge of the restaurant overlooking the water and close to the water, there's a chance you might get sprinkled on just a little bit. Some really cool touches here as well are there are fire tables that kind of light up different colors that are really, really pretty. There's these beautiful lantern style like iron fixtures throughout the location, beautiful fireplace when you first walk in that's all stone. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's bar seating, there's like nice lounge couches and table seating, there's formal dining tables and whatnot. And it just allows for a really nice atmosphere depending on what you're there for. Again, you might just be there for a beverage at the end of the day and an appetizer, a beverage in general, or maybe you're there for a full meal. There are so many options when you look at a dining location like this. When it comes to Disney touches, that's the only thing that this is kind of lacking as a dining location. Like if you plop this anywhere else, it would not read Disney, which some people, when they come to Disney, they want everything to be extremely Disney centric and themed. And I can appreciate that. You're not necessarily going to get that here. The only Disney touches and that I really remember are like Mickey heads being placed within like a Mandela style design on the dining tables, and those were kind of sporadic even depending on where you were sat within the restaurant. It doesn't necessarily scream Disney, and again, that might be good or might be bad depending on who you are. My absolute favorite thing about this dining location, outside of everything, when it comes to the atmosphere being picture backdrop worthy, is that there are fireworks over at Epcot. Luminous can be seen from the restaurant if you are sitting on the far side, meaning you're on the opposite side of the check-in desk. We were luckily sat there, had no idea that we're going to be able to see fireworks in the evening. And lo and behold, I think around like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock, I think depending on the time of year, I will comment down below. or I'll include within the video a pop-up that says like typically when the fireworks for Luminous occur, there were fireworks. And we got to sit there and enjoy our meal with fireworks in the background, and it was absolutely stunning. You also have Hollywood Studios fireworks too, but based on the Grand Casino Tower, they're blocked by the Grand Casino Tower. So you don't get to see those ones, unfortunately, but you do get the Epcot fireworks. So it's something you can consider and ask if you know the timing of the Luminous fireworks to see if the servers will put you on the far side of the restaurant. So something to ask the hostess or your server as you're seated, if you're going to be able to see them or if you can be placed. It's never a guarantee, but it's always okay to ask in Disney. Cast members are fantastic about that type of stuff. So if you are interested in seeing fireworks and you want that as a part of your evening, definitely try to ask for it. So overall, when we're looking at, is this a standout location outside of food? Does it have a good atmosphere? Is it picture backdrop worthy? I'm going to say yes. It has a amazing atmosphere. It's one of my favorite on the entire resort property. I'm not talking about Coronado Springs resort property. I'm talking about the Walt Disney World resort property. It's absolutely stunning, and I highly recommend checking it out for that reason and that reason alone. So that being said, when we are looking at location theming, Disney's Coronado Springs Three Bridges Bar and Grill is a pass. So that we passed that, let's move on over to beverage and bite variety and talk a little bit more about this menu. Now for beverage and bite variety, what we are talking about here is, are there sweet and savory options, plant-based and vegetarian, as well as snacks and entrees? I am going to pop up the menu from Disney's website on the screen here so y'all can follow along with me. So taking a look at this menu, it leans really heavily into more savory options as opposed to sweet options. Again, this is Spanish American cuisine. So in general, the majority of your Disney menus are going to be pretty savory. Some might not be, but in this case, we're looking at some very savory options. In our time at the location, we actually split our meal because we had been trying food throughout the day all across the resort property, but still wanted to be able to enjoy this in a way that made sense for us. So my husband and I actually enjoyed the white queso and chorizo dip, which was absolutely delicious. It's your stereotypical queso dip you're going to get at most either Mexican or Spanish style restaurants locally in your hometown. As always, it was absolutely delicious. We had these steak frites that it was cooked to perfection, y'all. Nice pink inside within the steak. You had that beautiful chimichurri sauce on the top. The fries that came with it were, everything about it was just so good. And we complemented it all with a sangria flight. And I think if that's one thing I can recommend when you are going to this dining location, it is to try the sangria flight. It's not necessarily unique to just this location. You can also have these sangrias at other locations on the resort property like Toledo, but in general, this is a great way to get to try some different sangrias and just luxuriate. But in my humble opinion, the absolute best thing I had while dining at this restaurant were the churros. Churros on the Walt Disney World Resort property, and I mean good churros, are good and hard to come by. They are not your Disneyland churros. And if you know, you know, Disneyland churros and Disney World churros, two completely different things. These are fresh, in-house made churros, and they are delicious. They come with 3 different dipping sauces, which are phenomenal. And I cannot say anything better about these if I try. They are elevated, delicious. Highly recommend you get them. I don't even know what to say because they are just that good. So overall, we really enjoyed our meal here. Of course, there are other great menu items available that give you quite a bit of a good variety to choose from. Now, there are also a numerous amount of cocktails, non-alcoholic beverages on the menu as well to pick from. So if you are there for just an appetizer or a drink in the evening, you are not going to walk away unsatisfied, to say the least. I also love this menu when we're considering plant-based eaters as well. There's a plant-based option in every single category. You have your chips and salsa appetizer, You have your soy glazed tofu poke bowl as an entree, your fresh fruit sorbet as a dessert, and for kids as well, you have Impossible tacos. I always take a look at Disney menus and try to find at least a plant-based option to talk about here, because I know that can be really difficult for those folks coming to the property trying to figure out what to eat. The good thing too is, as always, you can let your server and your cast member know your dietary preferences or restrictions, and they will help you find something that works for you. And they usually can even modify some of the other menu items within reason in order to make them fit your dietary requirements or restrictions. You'll also notice too that on the menu on the Walt Disney World Resort website, they have allergy sections, so you can get a little bit of a better idea of what's allergy friendly for you, what's included, and what you can have, what you can't have, all that kind of good stuff. And that is the same for kids as well. This category is an easy pass. Even before I started writing the script for this video, that I already knew was a pass just based on firsthand experience. And with some of these ranking videos, I don't always have firsthand experience, so I have to be as mindful as possible on how I'm speaking about the menu and what I would look for and what I would consider. But for this location in particular, with having firsthand experience, I can tell you it is worth your time from a beverage and bite variety perspective. So something to keep in mind there, but this is absolutely a pass. Let's go over to no one's favorite topic, cost. So when we're looking at cost, the way Disney looks at cost and gives price ranges on their website is based on entrees, appetizers, and desserts. They do not look at beverages at all. So essentially what they are saying is, for a casual dining experience, which is this particular restaurant, they're expecting each person to spend $25 or less. So how I get to, is this cost effective and does it fall into what Disney is stating on their website? I will take the entrees, the desserts, and the appetizers and get an average cost of menu items. So in this case, you are looking at an average cost of $16 per menu item. Average person, I would guess, is probably going to get an entree and probably a drink. If you are only getting an entree, you are only spending relatively around $16. And if you're looking at an average, which falls far below that $25 or less range that Disney is expecting each individual to spend. Now, because this location is very popular with cocktails and sangria, really specialty cocktails in general, you're probably gonna spend closer to that $25 in addition to that $16, because you're gonna get a drink that's probably gonna cost you $10. So you're probably gonna go over that $25 limit per person or average, but you're gonna be pretty close to it. It's something that I just would recommend budgeting for in general if you're planning on having drinks at any Disney Resort property restaurant, is expecting it to go over that average cost per person. For the sake of this test, or this criteria, I should say, this does pass. It is a pass because it is below that $25 benchmark that Disney has set. But of course, I feel like most folks are probably gonna have a cocktail or a mocktail if they're going. So you're probably gonna be closer to that 25, but in the same ballpark. So budget for that. And to the meal average for kids meals is $9, which is decent. It's what's to be expected at a nicer casual dining restaurant at Disney. It's not like crazy expensive, it's not crazy cheap, but it's kind of on par with Disney pricing. But overall, cost is a pass. Let's move on to the final category, beverage and bite theming. For beverage and bite variety, what we are looking at is, does the location have destination worthy food or beverages, whatever that might be? Are there character inspired eats and beverages, and are there things that are exclusive to the location? In my humble opinion, if you are staying in the Animal Kingdom Resort area, if you're going to Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, this is something that if you want to take a break from the parks, it is destination worthy. It is good to go out of your way to, if you are looking for somewhere to just take a break, relax, and have a breather. Now, when it comes to character inspired eats and beverages, that's just not a thing here, unfortunately. And that can occur at some of the resort dining locations or the Disney Springs locations, is you're not always gonna find like themed food. The only themed item I found was a specialty character drink that's supposed to be a sugar-free Minute Maid lemonade with cotton candy flavoring, but I could not find any picture regarding the character cup that this beverage uses. So in general, I don't really think it hits the category of like character inspired eats or beverages, because there's nothing here that's like go out of your way for it because it's character themed. So that's kind of disappointing, but to be expected, not really all that surprising. Now the sangria flight, while delicious, is not exclusive to Three Bridges Bar and Grill. You can get the sangrias at Toledo and other locations on the resort property. So you don't necessarily have to dine at Three Bridges to try sangria. So that's not super unique, but I do think the churros are unique. Again, I think these churros are phenomenal. I think they're on par, if not a little bit better than the ones that you can get in Disneyland, which if you're a churro fiend, it is something to go out of your way for. I also know they have got good churros at Nomad Lounge as well in Animal Kingdom. So something to keep top of mind if you are a churro fan. But overall, while for me this is destination worthy, I would go out of my way on my next Disney trip to eat here based on my experience. It's a beautiful atmosphere. The food is fantastic. Cast members were lovely. Absolutely no notes, no complaints. Love this location. I think for the average person that is expecting a very Disney-fied experience with character type food items, you know, over the top theming, all that kind of good stuff. I know we're focusing just on beverage and bite theming right now, but I don't think this necessarily deserves a pass because there's nothing in particular on the menu that I think is stand out that you only can get here. I think there's other places on property you could probably get some of these items at, and I know you can. And it overall, I mean, you could say these are food items you could get at a restaurant at home if you've got a really nice Spanish American inspired restaurant in your hometown. So unfortunately, that does mean that beverage and bite varieties ending us on a sour note because it is a fail. However, if we look at our overall ranking, we have 2 fails and 3 passes, which makes Three Bridges Bar and Grill a pass for my Disney Dining Ranking Challenge. Congratulations, Three Bridges Bar and Grill. You have passed my Disney Dining Ranking Challenge. I knew you could do it. If you liked today's video, I have a whole playlist on the channel that includes these Disney Ranking Challenges for you to watch and enjoy. I also recreate Disney recipes from across the parks and resorts on my channel so you can try them at home in your kitchen. If you liked today's video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. As always, this is Jillian from Maxine Makes Magic, and I hope you have a magical day. Bye, guys.